Today we will start with energy changes during reactions. We have already done in this chapter, that is mechanism of organic reactions, the reaction intermediates, and now the energy changes during the reactions. Heat or first in this we will start with heat or enthalpy of reaction. As we have already done, enthalpy of reaction is it is the total energy change when conversion of a definite number of moles of reactants take place into the products. So it is the total energy change when a particular different number of moles of reactants are converted into the products. Example, if we take a general example, that is suppose A, B and C, D are the reactants. So the bonds of this, all old bonds will break and the new bonds will form in a process. That is, this AB bond will break and the new bond AC bond will be formed, and similarly in CD old bond will be cleaved and new bond BD is formed. So the various bonds are in the process of breaking and some are in the process of formation. So the enthalpy change, that is the total energy change during this reaction, can be a negative or positive. That is, the reaction may be exothermic or endothermic. If the reaction is exothermic, that is energy is released and delta H will be negative, and when the energy is absorbed, then the reaction is endothermic, and in that case delta H is equal to positive. So if we take an example, suppose CH3Cl, that is CH4 is written in this way, CH3 one bond is shown like this, bond H, and Cl2, that is Cl single bond Cl, and then this H will be replaced by Cl, that is this bond will break and this bond will also break and new bonds are formed, that is H is replaced by HCl, Cl, and in this Cl bond is in this we get HCl. So this bond is cleaved and this new bond is formed. So the various bonds are cleaved in a process and new bonds are formed in a process. So if we calculate the delta H, so this that is delta H is enthalpy of products, reactants minus enthalpy of products. So in this this 433 plus 242.5 and then minus this two values, that is 350 plus 430, and we get minus 104.5. it means energy is released, so it is a exothermic process. So total energy change when a different number of moles of reactants react to form products, then that is called enthalpy of reaction, and that can be positive or negative. That is, reaction can be exothermic or endothermic. And what how the various reactions are shown diagrammatically, or what is the energy profile diagrams when a reaction takes place. Old bonds are broken and new bonds are formed, and in that process how the energy is changed, that is from reactants to products. The energy changes of reactants to products is shown in a energy profile diagrams, which we will also do in this topic. So next is in energy of activation. When a reaction takes place, suppose this is the energy profile diagram now, that is the reactants will react to give products, and in that process reactants will have to first have this much of energy, that is the reactants have to cross a barrier, that is energy barrier, and then they will be transformed into the products. So this whole representation of reactants to products is called energy profile diagram. In this, we know that this is the energy of reactants. This level is this, here is the energy, here is the progress of reaction. In this case, progress of reaction, in this case this is the energy of reactants. That is, now when the reactants will have this much of energy, extra energy, then only they will be able to cross this energy barrier, and then they will be transformed into the products. And when forming the product, this amount of energy will be released, and this is the energy of the products. So this is the energy of reactants, this is the energy of products. And the reactants have, when they want to react to their products, they must have this amount of additional energy. The additional energy or the extra energy the reactants required is called the activation energy. So it is very important, what is the activation energy? The reactants required an additional amount of energy to cross the energy barrier and to change into the products. That additional energy or extra energy required by the reactants is called the activation energy. That is, we can define it as the minimum amount of additional energy or extra energy required by the reactants to undergo effective collisions is called activation energy. So activation energy is represented by a EA. So in this diagram we can easily understand this amount of energy which must be given to the reactants so that they can form product is called the activation energy. And so the reactants, or we can say the minimum amount of energy required by the reactants to change into products is called the threshold energy. Threshold energy is the energy required by the reactants to form products, and it is not the only additional energy, it is the total energy required by the reactants, its own energy plus activation energy. So what is threshold energy? Is the energy required by the reactants to form the products, and this energy is the energy of reactants own energy and plus activation energy. So the activation energy can be written as E threshold minus E ground state, that is energy of reactants already present. So this is the mathematical relation of activation energy with threshold energy and ground state energy. So we can easily tell how much additional energy or how much the activation energy is required by the reactants by this diagram. That is, this is the energy of reactants and this is the activation energy. And now at this energy, when reactants get this much of energy, extra energy, then they will form a transition state, that is they will have this amount of energy, that is the energy barrier to cross to form products, and then they will form products. If this is the energy of products, then this amount of energy is released, so it is a exothermic reaction shown. So now what are the effective collisions we have talked about here? The collisions must be effective means the reactants, when they react, they may react but they do not give products. So the reactant molecules must have minimum amount of energy, that is the threshold energy. So threshold energy is the energy the reactants have plus activation energy if required. So effective collisions will only be given when the reactants have minimum amount of energy, that is the threshold energy. So for a effective collision or the collision to give products, the molecule or reactant must have threshold energy first. So for effective collisions, the molecule must have one threshold energy, and second is the molecules must have proper orientation, and second is for effective collisions the molecules have proper orientation. So these two conditions are required for the effective collisions, and this we will be discussing in next chapters. So this is the basic requirement of a reaction to give products. So next is the energy diagrams for exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. As we have already done, what are energy diagrams or energy profile diagrams? Reactions showing the how the reactants get converted into the products through the transition state or energy barrier. Now for exothermic reactions, as we have already discussed, energy is released, as in this the products will have less energy than the reactants. So in the exothermic reactions, energy is released, that is, this diagram shows the exothermic reaction. In this is the energy of reactants, this is the energy of products, and when the reactants first get this additional amount of energy, activation energy, and form transition state. In the transition state, the bonds are in the breaking process and in the formation process. This is shown by dotted lines, and then they give the products. If this is the energy of products, so, and this is the energy of reactants, that is, energy of reactants is more and energy of products is less. This shows this can be shown from here. So this amount of energy is released, that is, it will be negative. So delta H is negative in the exothermic reactions. So in the endothermic reactions, energy is absorbed, that is, this reaction shows this is the energy of reactants, and then it gets this amount of activation energy, addition energy, to form this transition state, that is the energy barrier, to reach the energy barrier, and then the products are formed. The energy of products is more than the reactants. This is the energy of reactants, and this is the level of energy of products. So energy of reactants is less and energy of products is more, that is, the products has absorbed the energy. So this amount of energy is absorbed, or this line shows that this amount of energy is absorbed by the products. So this shows delta H is positive, and in the endothermic reactions, energy is absorbed and delta H is positive. So the exothermic and endothermic reactions can be explained by these energy profile diagrams. And generally in exothermic reactions, EA may be high or low. Energy of activation can be high or may be low, that is, the reactants may require more amount of energy or may require less amount of energy. But generally in endothermic reactions, EA must be as large as delta H, maybe delta H and EA may be similarly, but it's not necessary. So mainly in exothermic reactions, energy is released and delta H is negative. In endothermic reactions, energy is absorbed and delta H is positive. So next is in this diagram, this reactants is shown as A plus BC, and then BC has bond in reactants, but in the transition state these bonds are shown in dotted lines, that is, this bond is in the process of formation and this in the process of breaking. So then this bond is formed in the products and AB and C is separated. So in this diagram, D plus E, F are the reactants shown, and then this bond will be in the formation process and this will be in the breaking process. So we will get DE plus F in the products. So next is effect of catalyst. If there is a reaction, if suppose in a reaction, this is the energy profile diagram, that is, this is the energy of reactants, this is the energy of reactants, and then energy of products. In this reaction, this is the energy barrier required, or it is the transition state. When the reactants require this amount of energy and then gives the transition state, and then they are transformed into the products. So this amount of energy is released in the reaction. But if, and this is suppose for the reaction, this is the activation energy. But when catalyst is added, so what is catalyst? Catalyst is a chemical species. It increases the rate, generally it increases the rate of reaction, or it enhances the rate of reaction. But when it increases the rate of reaction, actually it lowers the activation energy. When a catalyst is added, it generally lowers the activation energy, and due to which the reaction is accelerated, the rate of reaction is increased. So when it lowers the activation energy, it means now the reactants require less amount of activation energy, less amount of energy to reach to this level, to transition state, and then the products are formed. So activation energy is lowered, and this is shown by this curve. In this height is more, and this height is less. It is in the presence of catalyst. So when catalyst is added in a reaction, the reaction is accelerated and the rate of reaction increases, and it is due to the lowering in activation energy. So this energy profile diagram shows how a catalyst lowers this curve and decreases the activation energy, and products are formed easily. So next is energy diagrams for single step and two step process. For a single step process, we have already seen. In a single step process, these are the reactants, and this forms a transition state, and then the products are formed. And in this is the exothermic reaction. It can be endothermic, we have seen earlier. So for a single step, we can easily show how the energy changes takes place during the formation of products from the reactants through the transition state. So suppose in this, these are the reactants A and BC. So in this first in transition state, all are dotted lines, and then in products, this bond is formed and this is separated. So we can see now how the energy changes takes place in a reaction. So in this reactions, we can show delta H double dagger. It means this is a reaction in which a transition state is involved. Wherever transition state is involved, we can show delta G double dagger, and it is the free energy activation energy. It is a free energy activation energy, and this is the difference of energies. So that is energy released or absorbed. It is represented by delta G naught. So in a two-step reactions, there are the two ways. First is the reactions in which first step is the rate determining step, and in the second way, second step is the rate determining step. So for both we can draw energy level diagrams as this is a reaction in which the reaction takes place in two steps, but in this first step is the rate determining step. For this, this is the reactants, then this amount of energy is required by the reactants, that is delta G1 double dagger, and this transition state is formed, and then the intermediate is formed, that is energy is released, and then the second activation state is formed, transition state second is formed, that is it requires this amount of energy to form this transition state, and then the products are formed. Now in this first step is rate determining step. How can we say that? In this first, when the reactants forms transition state, in this amount delta G1 double dagger value is greater than this, or we can say this height is more. So this height decides which will be a rate determining step, and in this height is more and it is first step is rate determining step, and for the second step this amount of energy is only required, and then this products are formed. And in this second, in which second step is rate determining step, and in this this transition state has lower energy, but this has a required more energy. So this height, in this height was more, and in this side is more, and then in this requires more energy, and then this. So this is the rate determining step. And first, this height is more, that is transition state 1 requires more energy, and this transition state second energy barrier requires more energy. So this is the rate determining step. So from the energy profile diagrams we can easily guess in the reaction which step will be the rate determining step. So in this all terms are clear. In this delta G1 double dagger and delta G2 double dagger are the free energy of activations. These are the activations energies only involved in formation of transition state. And delta G naught, that is this energy, that is energy difference between the reactant and products. Here also reactant and product, and it is the net free energy change for the reaction. So this is the all about the various energy profile diagrams which we will generally study in the organic reactions. So by this we are now we have done all the energy profile diagrams which we will be using in the various reactions, or we have done already in the various reactions. So it's all about the energy profile diagrams. So next we will start with methods to determine the reaction mechanism. So thank you.